on the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network. From Learfield, welcome to the Varsity House BirdFeed on the Ball State Gainbridge Network. Here is your host, Joel Godette.
Welcome back into another edition of the BirdFeed Live, presented by Varsity House. We are streaming live here on Facebook. We will be archived on YouTube. You can catch us on the ISC Sports Network across the state of Indiana and on the Tripcast podcast feed as well. My guest this week is Ball State women's basketball coach Brady Sallee. James tested out our podcast setup for the first time last week, so he was the guinea pig. But welcome for your first time up here in what to the people at home is a grandiose studio, but to you is the corner of my office.
Well, it can pass for either, clearly, but yeah, we're excited to be on and talk a little women's hoops.
Tell me where you guys are at right now. Grand picture, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it, but 5 games into conference play, how you feel about where your team is, but also big picture where the MAC is this year.
Well, I'll start in reverse order. I've told a lot of people this. I think this year in our league, it's as good as it's ever been. And now you think about a few years ago, we sent 2 teams to the Sweet 16. This league, top to bottom, is as good as any. And, you know, we were talking, I was talking with another coach in our league this weekend, and we were trying to come up with another league out there that has the parity and the talent, has the scores, from top to bottom like our league does. And you know, even the Power 5 leagues, you've got built-in wins. You know, the upper half of every league has built-in wins. We just don't. And so, boy, you better bring it every night. Now, with that being said, I think right now my team is good enough on any given night to be the best team in the league, and we're probably just as equally able to be a below average team.
It was like we were thinking of a range there.
Well, and we're just, you know, we're fighting the consistency bug. Now, is that 4 or 5 on the road to begin the conference? You know, and part of that is COVID related. You know, is it a 3-game week? Is it Anna Clefane going down? I mean, you know, this week was a tough one. Ever since we've come back from Christmas, I don't know that we've had a normal day. And, you know, I hate it for these players, but they just kind of roll with the punches. They've come to expect it. I don't know that they even notice it. You know, kids in, kids out, like, oh, we play here, oh, we don't play here. It's just, you know, the craziness that has been this last couple years it's a thing. But that's where the mentally toughest teams are going to be the ones that are cutting down nets. And that's where we're trying to get right now. And, you know, I think you've seen moments where we definitely can be that. And then you've seen moments where you scratch your head and go, you know, which team is it? And so we're fighting through that a little bit. I think we're looking for some leadership in those moments as well. And, you know, if we can start putting those things together here through the end of January and really get into February, get on a roll, I like this group.
You mentioned the elephant in the room that I will dive into, and that is your leading scorer is out for the season at this point. Yeah. And probably not that you'd want that to happen to anybody, but if it's going to happen to a kid, like, already been through it once, came back, fought through it, finally found her groove at the end of last season, was playing the best basketball of her career, and then tears her other ACL. Mm-hmm. I guess the only like the positive way to look at it, if you're Anna, is you've done it once, you came back, and you were the best you've ever been. Mm-hmm. So if you've got to go through it again, there's a path to come back and be even better than before. And I guess that has to be the message, but man, does it suck for that kid.
No, you know, I'm still not able to find words for her or anything else. You know, about the only thing I've told her is feel the way you feel. You're allowed that. Be angry, be mad. You know, I just think she's got to go through all those grieving moments. It does, you know. She was in the best shape of her life. She worked hard to get there. Like you said, she was playing the best basketball. You know, Coach Jackson up at Akron, we were talking about it after the game, and you know, she goes, she's playing like a first teamer, you know, and it's just sickening. And you know, you sit there and you scratch your head and you ask why, and you just drive yourself nuts. But it's an unfortunate part of our game that happens far too much. And you know, I hate that it happened to this young lady and the way she was playing. And it's just, you know, it's tough on her. There's no doubt. It's tough on us. There's no doubt. You know, as teammates and friends, to watch somebody go through that and know that they've already been through it. Like you said, there's some power in that knowledge of what's coming. There's also a scary moment where you know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And, you know, she's wired the right way to handle it. There's no doubt about it. But you know, it's just an unfortunate blow and one that we're going to have to be able to handle if we want to have success this year. But, you know, I personally am still not over it. And it's my love for that kid and the way she goes about her business. And, you know, I love coaching her. I know that. And I'm sick that I don't get to do it. But we need her leadership. You know, I told her early on we need her voice. That can't go away. And as a freshman, when she got hurt, it was easy to kind of step back a little bit. Now, as an upperclassman, somebody that was that player on our team, her voice can't leave. And so we need that desperately.
How's she doing?
Oh, you know, I've talked to her a little bit. She went home to meet with the surgeon. And, you know, I think she's probably on a roller coaster right now. You know, she's everywhere you could imagine. So I don't think she's good. You know, to say, oh, yeah, she, you know. The blessed thing in this whole deal is she's got two fabulous parents. And she's got teammates that love her. She's got coaches that love her. She's got a community that's around her that, you know, when she needs the arm around her, when she needs a kick in the butt, when she needs the pat on the back, she's got plenty of people in her corner. But it starts with her family. And, you know, they've been through it, and I feel bad for them as well, because there's no two bigger fans of Ball State women's basketball and what their daughter's doing than Genie and Dave. And so it's a tough time for her and for them. But you know, this is when you fall back on faith and love, and you really see what kind of character you got built inside of you.
How much is you talked about her leadership and her voice still being really necessary? How much is she still going to be around, and kind of what's I mean, obviously she's still in school, so what's the plan for her as far as, I know she went home to meet with the doctor, and how that all plays out and how much she'll be around over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, you know, other than going back down to Cincy, really, you know, for the medical stuff, she's going to be around every single thing we do. You know, so I'm going to need her and lean on her to be kind of that student coach right now. And, you know, she can help these young ladies quite a bit with her knowledge of what we do and how we do it, and her knowledge of playing on the road and the opponents we're playing, and just seeing different situations. They need her leadership desperately. And you know, so she's been gone here for a couple days getting all that stuff taken care of, which we clearly understand, but we're ready to have her back.
Tell me a little bit about who fills in for her, because, and you said this, I heard post-game with Jack, or maybe it was pre-game with Jack on the radio, where you walked out into practice and those five were ready.
Yeah.
And that was the five.
Yeah.
China Latimer is someone that has a ton of experience, and you brought her here obviously for a reason, and obviously to play a role. Hadn't been playing a ton for you recently, but the last couple games, I think she played 36 minutes against Eastern Michigan, and she's averaging 17 points since Anna has gone out.
Yeah.
What have you seen different in her, and what is her capability to potentially fill a really big void?
You know, the one thing I've said a lot about China since she's been here is she's got a maturity level that's through the roof. You know, she wasn't happy with how she was playing. She wasn't happy, I would assume, with her playing time, although I rarely ask opinions on that. But, you know, I think in the moment she saw that we needed her. and we needed her in a big way. And so she, as soon as like I put her in that game, you saw a different demeanor, a different way of carrying herself. And it's like you said, and like I told Jack after that first game, I came out and I kind of had a plan in my head. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's all this. And I didn't have to do any of it because they had kind of already gone down that road. And she practiced different and clearly has played different the past couple games. So I think she's led us in scoring both games. So, but with that being said, we've never once talked about who's going to fill Anna's role. I just think we have to maybe look a little bit different. We need everybody to step up. And that was the first thing we talked about against Eastern Michigan was, we don't necessarily have to go do this the same way. We just all have to step up and be different. So from the Sydney Freemans and Telma Deeses and all of them, everybody's got to carry the load here. And so that was the message to them on Wednesday when we went up and played Eastern. It was the same message getting ready for Akron. And for the most part, they've done a pretty good job of that. And, I think you're going to see us look different depending on who we're playing at times. But no matter what, I think, we've got to fill that energy void that Anna brought to the table. The one thing, the best thing I always have to say about Anna is her motor is second to none. And that is a hard skill to just all of a sudden flip a switch on. If you're an electric car and you're looking to take the place of a 78 T-Bird, I don't know that that's going to look real good. So you either have it in you or you don't. We're definitely looking for that part of it still, but China has stepped up to the plate well, and I'm excited about what she can do from here.
What particular about her game over the last two games has been different?
She's been aggressive. I think there for a while she was, in her mind, trying to do what we wanted her to do. And maybe she had defined what that was going to be. Maybe it was, hey, just don't get in the way. Hey, just don't mess it up. Hey, just
I'm the new kid.
Yeah. That kind of thing. And everybody as a season progresses, it's funny to see how they fall into roles. And it's just like we're talking about with, when Anna went down, who stepped into that starting role, like I didn't say anything. And it's kind of the same way with this. Like all of a sudden, people just start falling into roles, whether they like them or not. And I beg them not to, but at the end of the day, you got to go with the people that are playing the way that they should be playing and those kind of things. So, but all of a sudden you've seen the aggressiveness, and we've used her in a few different ways since she's been back. We isolated a lot against Akron, and she got it to the rim, laid it up on them. She's got an ability to get it to the basket, which, with Anna going out, we needed that. And she's got an ability to go rebound the ball. She's risen up and hit some threes, which she was struggling to do. I think all in all, she's really just risen to the occasion. And now if we can get her to rise to the occasion on the defensive end and figure that part of it out at the rate she's figuring the offensive part of it out, now we got the chance to be cooking with grease.
This is going to be a stupid media type question, but maybe it's an oversimplification that is necessary in terms of like how you explain it to a team in a way that's easily digestible. Anna's got the huge motor. She's guarding a lot of times the other team's top player or one of their top players. But can you look at it to your team and say, look, here's 17 points a game, or here's 16 points a game. We play 8 of you. Everybody here needs to hit one more bucket.
Yeah.
If all of you hit one more bucket, we're going to be okay.
And that was kind of the message was, collectively, this is going to be a lot easier than if somebody just tries to do it, and if we just look at one person to try to do it by themselves. So whether it was the defensive end or the rebounding end or, like you said, the points, I think the one thing with our offense is we're all confident enough in it and each other that whoever is taking the shot, as long as it's a good shot, we're good. So clearly somebody was going to get her shots. And, it has been spread out a little bit, but China has filled in really, really well in those moments. I think I've seen a difference in Allie Becky, aggressive, really looking to score a little bit more, knowing that I've got to step up to the plate here a little bit. So again, I think our kids' hearts were affected, and they, for the most part, reacted the right way. They wanted that one on Wednesday desperately. Not that they didn't want the one on Saturday, but you could see a passionate group playing on Wednesday with Anna in their heads and in their hearts.
Let's talk about Allie Becky a little bit, because you did lose on Saturday, but she was very, very close to a triple-double.
Yeah.
So another media type question, but I mean this kind of tongue-in-cheek. How many games until Allie Becky comes up with a triple-double for you?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that the double-double was coming. It was just a matter of time, and she's teetered on that triple-double before. She's been, maybe a point, a rebound, and an assist shy. She's that type of player. So here, the crazy part is, it's a quiet double-double the other day. She's not dominating the ball. She's just doing what she does, and that's the beauty of Allie and the way she plays is she can affect the game so many different ways. Doesn't have score to do it, which I think is always the mark of a great player. You don't have to have the ball in your hands to affect the game, and I think we'll see it before the year's over. I just think the one thing that maybe since we've been back from Christmas, one of the things I'm most excited about Allie with was I just made a little comment to her about some things that we had changed defensively because of her. On a positive note, like we saw a skill set and we said, okay, we're going to do this a little bit differently because of her. She had gotten away from doing that for whatever reason, and I brought that back up, and since then, I think she's led us in rebounding both games.
As a guard.
As a guard, that even more than the numbers, it's the coachability, it's the want to, it's the commitment level, and she's that type of player. Like you don't have to show her, prod her, do it. You just bring it up, and she's kind of has that I got you mentality, and she's a special one, and I think we're going to see more performances like we saw Saturday in the near future and for hopefully the whole career.
So as you guys are trying to find yourselves again here, the MAC has done you no favors on the scheduling front. Akron has really taken a step forward. They're 4-1. They're at the top of the standings right now. Buffalo's still undefeated. They're just above Akron. And then you guys have Toledo at home on Wednesday. Not that Toledo is ever not a challenging opponent, but at this point in time, they happen to be the only 6-0 team left in the league, the only team that has played every game and has won them all. What is it about Tricia Cullop's group that has you worried most on Wednesday night?
Well, Tricia's group is always well coached. It's going to be a battle. They're always going to defend. They're always going to rebound. They're always going to play hard. We've had some great battles through our 9 years plus together in this league, and and I really like coaching in those games because it becomes a chess match, and I have a lot of respect for her. I think this year's team, you look and they've got all the boxes checked. They've got really good guard play in the Wired kid and Lockett. Lockett's as good as anybody in this league. She by herself can win you a ball game. Well, now they brought in a transfer from Indiana that's 6'5" and plays very, very aggressively and strong and tough. They've got some good athletes in Mankiewicz and Goss, kind of in those forward positions. But everything they do really starts and stops with the defensive end of the floor. They're defending at a very, very high level. It'll be an interesting game because right now my team thinks defense is what goes around the house, and we're really excited to play offense and not so much to play defense. And then you've got their end of it that they want to dictate the game on that end and play that tough brand of basketball that Trish's teams have been known for. So it'll be interesting to see who can get the tempo going the way they want it to. I think a big part of that, whoever wins that game on Wednesday will be just that.
Well, it'll be that on Wednesday at 6:30, and then you're home again Saturday. Finally, you guys have home games. Scheduled home games.
That could change. You never know where the phone call's coming from that says, hey, by the way, can you drive 13 straight hours and play back-to-back games? And, at this point with everything going on, I told my team.
Be happy to play.
Yeah, I mean, just you control what you can control.
Yeah.
So if the conference calls and says, hey, we need you to do this, okay. Now there are some things I'd like the conference to do, but they've not listened to me in 9 years, and I wouldn't expect them to start now. It doesn't keep me from asking, but it's gotten to the point now where they won't even return phone calls. So they figured me out, I guess. And but I think again, if they say here's what you got to do, you just go do it. I thought my team handled last week about as well as you could, honestly. Sunday we had a chance to win. We had a layup wiped off with 38 seconds on a travel call that wasn't a travel. It happens. What are you going to do? You got it. We still had a chance, and all we needed to do was keep a kid from driving it down the lane and laying it up. And we were there and had chances to take charges and do some different things, didn't get it done. And it was a close game. We go win a great game at Eastern. And then we turn around with probably not a whole lot of gas in the tank. And, I could see it midway through that third quarter, the light was blinking. Gas tank is about empty. And we tried to hang on and we tried to give ourselves a chance. And down the stretch, I thought, we had it to a couple possession game. I thought we had them tied up in our press. They granted the timeout. Again, what are you going to do? And you just got to keep playing in those moments. But we had some fight in the dog, but we were pressing on that gas pedal, and we didn't have a whole lot of octane left in the tank. But like I told them after the game, we have to learn from that because we've got how many more 3-game weeks coming up? They had afforded us the chance to have 1 day off in a 24-day period because of all the scheduling. Okay, not easy, but again, what are you going to do about it? Either you can become a victim of it or you can just say, all right, here's what we're going to do. It's all mental toughness, right? And that's the thing that I think is leading to some of the inconsistencies is mentally we're not as tough as we need to be. And that's where some things need to start changing and we need to start learning from some of these situations. If we can develop some of that mental toughness, offensively we're good enough to win a lot of games. If we can get tough enough to be that same team on the defensive end, we got a chance.
Brady, best of luck with the yard work, with defense.
Defense around the house.
Yeah.
You can use that one if you want to.
I think I've heard it before, but I'll give you credit for it.
I've only got 2 or 3 jokes. They're just long-lasting.
Kentucky math and defense.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. So I'm a simple man.
Brady, best of luck Wednesday. And then it's Saturday as well, women's basketball home against Central Michigan. 888-BSU ticket, ballstatesports.com for all the details there. You can catch the live streams on ESPN+, ESPN3, and you can catch the radio as well on Muncie's sports station on ballstatesports.com. and on the Varsity Sports app. That does it, though, for this edition of the Bird Feed Live. As always, you can catch this here on Facebook Live, YouTube, Chirpcast podcast feed, and across the state of Indiana on the ISC Sports Network. We'll catch you back here next week.
This was the Varsity House Bird Feed on the Ball State Gamebridge Network.